In this video, I'm going over how to enter into someone's guard using the Wing Chun system. The camera does die, so we don't get the whole class, but you do get some of the beginning work. Now, the main principles are, controlling the lines of attack, so making sure you're defensively responsible as you enter, offsetting and attacking the opponent's balance, and striking simultaneously. They're the three basic principles you keep in mind as you enter someone's guard. Further to that, it's like the shape of your guard as well. So hope you enjoy.
Alrighty, I just want to do a quick review of a couple of things. First, guard, but guard in relationship to entering. So we all know when we shape up, knees bent, toes pointed in, guard, fingertips caressing the power plane. So the power plane is that line from your center to their center. Imagine it like a plane of energy. They actually have a good video on the International Wing Chun Academy's website where they have two people standing there and they make this kind of yellow plane that goes from center to center. So normally people call that the center line, right? And I think that's an okay description, right? But the power plane is much better because that tells you want to center in your intention, soft draw up, feel that good feeling, quality, rise, energy in the center. You want to target that towards their center, making a connection, yeah? And maintain the focus of everything flowing through that. So there's more to it, meaning spiritual intention, centering and seeing. You're activating three parts of the state energetically with the concept of the power plane versus the center line. So, you guys should have that in your mind, right? Make sense? Yeah. So, first things first, power plane, have your guard on, making sure the fingertips caress and you've got that nice triangular shape. Now, what we're going to work on is we're going to work around with that as an entry. So what I don't want to see, I often see is hands too close to the center like this. That's, it's quite narrow. Your elbows haven't got that openness. Also, you've got these collapsed angles here. Make sure you've got that triangulation. That's important. Now, what we're going to work on is we're just going to work on, we'll start off with a basic entry. And look, the concept we're going to work with is chasing, placing, facing the center. Yeah? This is because I want you to learn it. Yeah? Anyway, the whole concept is that you should always be chasing the opponent's center, which is connected to the power plane. So wherever they move, you have a sense of your power plane. It's as though Ward has strings connected or something connecting his center to mine. So wherever I go, he's just stuck on me, right? So that's the first thing. He's always chasing. Then he's always facing, meaning he keeps facing forward to me at all times. He can still have one leg forward, one leg back, that's fine. But you still want to face, because that means all of his weapons are ready to attack and defend as quickly as possible, right? So he's chasing, facing. He's also placing. That means his mass and momentum, his direction is always in my center. A way to conceive of this is his hips and his spine are where my hips and my spine are. So he has the concept of placing all the time. So whenever I touch his body, I should feel, it's not on yet, get it onto, yeah, aim it into, yeah. I should feel that there's a connection to me. So chasing, facing, placing. And the last thing is pointing. You're always, which is all tiny, you're always pointing to the center. Now, that's the basic precepts. I always, and to put it simply, just fucking chase their center. Yeah, it's simple as that, right? Just chase the center. Now, when you expand on that, right, the question becomes, how do I enter, right? The bad guy's here, I'm there. How does he actually enter in towards me, right? What does he do? What should he be thinking about? And the simplicity of it is that you got two options. You're either reacting to their movement or acting based off yours. Either way, the principle stays the same. Meaning, if I'm here, right, and I'm like kind of stationary, or maybe I'm bobbing like from Street Fighter, right? He wants to cover my lines of attack, right? This is a basic principle. Meaning, if he's chasing and facing as he steps in, his limbs should cover my potential lines of attack wherever they are. So that principle should always be in your mind. I don't want to get hit, so I'm going to cover that line of attack. Simple. And that leans into our skill as Wing Chun practitioners, because if our state is on when we make contact, you're going to offset their balance, allowing you to hit through, right? So covering the lines of attack favors a Wing Chun guy who's got good state, because you offset their balance, and you collapse the structure so you can hit, right? So chase, face, place. Have that in mind, number one. Number two, when you're entering, cover the line of attack. And we're just going to start off with like one person. So this exercise, I know that was a bit of a soliloquy, but I wanted you to understand the principles. Why are we doing this, right? So as I move around, Wardo's going to face, chase, and have the idea of place, meaning the power plane's on, he's got his force pointed, his power pointed into my center. And then every so often, so he's working on, okay, his knees are pointed, his toes are pointed into my center, his guard's nice and triangulated, he's focusing to me. And then whenever I put up my guard, I want him to then enter. And what that would look like, so if Wardo puts up a guard, he shapes up, I'm going to enter. Yeah? He had his guard kind of crossed across the center, which is fine, but we'll start off with one a bit more wide, just for simplicity's sake. We're going to add to this as we go. So he has a more wider guard, so a bit more like either a boxer or a Muay Thai guy's guard. I'm just going to step through and enter. I'm covering the lines of attack, I'm attacking his balance, and you should see, what we should see is that his structures are disrupted, I've made contact with them, and his balance is offset. So that's what you're looking for. Okay, his balance is offset, his structures are disrupted, and you should be able to hit through. But we're not going to get to that point yet. I want you to focus on, so the game is going to be this. Wardo's the good guy now. I'm the bad guy, because the good guy is always the Wing Chun guy, right? Yeah? So I move around, Wardo is chasing, facing. So essentially he's just doing the state training, right? Making sure his shapes are on, making sure he's focused, making sure his knees are pointed in, making sure his spine is connected to mine via intention, via the power plane. Every time I put my guard up, bang, he's just going to enter straight away. So he's going to use a more proactive entry. He's not reacting to my attack, he's just entering my stationary guard, right? We'll get to the more reactive style later where you're actually entering based off what they do. Does that make sense? To make it very simple, chase, face, place is the power plane tracking them. Your power plane is always on them. You see that plane in your mind's eye and you never turn that off. Wherever I move, Ward's fucking power planing the shit out of me, right? It's just there, yeah? The next component is that he's going to use a proactive entry. As the guard comes up, he jumps straight in, boom, he's right in there. He's covering my lines of attack, see he's got some defensive acumen here. He's offsetting my balance. He's offsetting my balance, yeah? Yeah? And he has the ability to strike. They're the three things you're looking for. Cover the lines of attack, offset the balance, and have the strike, ideally, but in this context, the ability to strike. All right, simple exercise. Any questions? 1, 2. That was terrible. Let's try that again. 1, 2. All right, we're awake. Let's do it. So now let's look at, look, we're just going to do a few basic ones and we're going to build it up. So now you're going to do same exercise, but this time with a narrow guard. So more like a close, more like a Wing Chun or boxing style guard. Now, the entry is exactly the same. You're thinking, okay, same principles, face, chase, place. As I step through, I'm making contact. I'm connecting to his center, yeah? So now I'm making contact, connecting to his center. Simple as that. So I just want you to work on a different position now. We're going to build on this, so don't worry, it will get a bit more advanced. So once again, I saw some of you guys not doing the exact exercise. Person who the bad guy is, he's a good guy, Ward. I move around, he follows, so he's sticking with me. He's really focused on staying in state connected to me. And then every so often I bring the guard up, yeah? As opposed to, you know, having the guard up the whole time, because then when do they react, you know? When do they come in, you know? Once the guard's up, it's okay, the fight's on, I'm gonna jump on top of that, yeah? So you're taking it is reactive in the sense that they're putting up the guard, then you do it, but it's proactive because they haven't launched an attack yet. Does that make sense? They're just holding a stationary, they're not attacking you yet, yeah? Alrighty, so Wardo follows me, he's got his power plane on, he's feeling good in his center, he's connected to my center, I move around, guard comes up through the center, so I'm using this type of guard. Now things to think about, we're not attacking yet, remember? We're covering the lines of attack. Wardo got to the next step, see? Cover the lines of attack, so he keeps contact with both limbs. Remember, our specialty is not only the power generated from the state and the directness of the system, it's shutting down their skill. The way to do that is to make connection. So the basic premise is that when you come in contact, you want to cover both lines of attack if possible. Sure, if the hand's this far away, it's not going to be possible, but if it's available, cover both lines of attack. And we'll leave it here, meaning he's covering the lines of attack, he's attacking my balance, and has the ability to hit. We're not hitting yet. We will get to that point, so don't rush it. Make sure you do this part properly. How you know you're doing it properly is that they can't hit you and their balance is offset. Yeah? They can't hit you, balance is offset. So you can even keep moving at them for a moment just to make sure the feeling's on. Make sense? 1, 2, let's go. All right, so you've worked on it kind of, you know, proactively, you're entering. Now it's going to be more reactive. So they're actually already going to have their guard up, and you're going to be tracking them, right? But in your mind now, your intent is to launch your offense when they launch theirs. So for example, I'm tracking him, he's moving around, and then let's say Ward tries to throw, for example, perhaps like a left hook. As soon as I see him offensively attacking, so as soon as he comes at me, so coming back a bit, as soon as he comes towards me, I'm going to then come straight in, yeah? You're coming straight in, same principles apply. Cover the lines of attack, offset the balance, yeah? But this time, there will be a level of attacking intent, because our whole idea in Wing Chun is to defend by attacking, all right? So, once again, he's moving around, I'm just tracking, I'm staying with him. As soon as he comes to throw an attack, I'm just coming straight through, covering the lines of attack, offsetting the balance, and launching an attack of my own. So the only difference now is that you're going to launch. Slowly, right? So Water's the good guy now. I'm moving around. I'm either slightly out of range or closer. It doesn't really matter. Water's just going to use his Wing Chun, so he's not going to bounce. Yeah, it's not Street Fighter for you. The Wing Chun fighter just uses enough. Yeah. So you just track.